How you doing today, man?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent. So this is the EricSwanRacing.com podcast. I believe it'll be number 86. And today we have Jeff Heiser of Epic Beard Photography. So thanks for coming on talking to me.
No problem. It's exciting.
Have you ever been a podcaster before?
Nope.
First timer?
First timer.
So yeah, it's open format. We didn't talk at all before this, just some text messages back and forth. So I'm pretty sure I met you at the racetrack a couple of times. I was doing photography, and this year and last year I've been a track marshal. So I was just at Homestead Miami Speedway over the weekend with CCS, and I was just looking at flights going to St. Petersburg for the IndyCar race coming up next week.
Oh, nice.
So you've been a photographer for many years. You do, sounds like, portraits. You do action sports, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I started out when I was a kid. My dad had his own business and he was always developing film. So they gave me a small little camera. Never thought of anything of it for the most part. When I graduated high school and started college in the 90s, I bought a pawn shop 35 millimeter for $50.
Yeah.
Took a photography 101 class, learned how to develop film, and then I joined the Navy and saw the world, and then got out and decided to do my own thing.
And you've been traveling all around. Do you have an event list where people can see where you'll be at next?
No, I don't. But if you follow Moto America, I'll be at all the rounds.
Okay, very good. So you'll be at Daytona coming up in a couple of weeks here?
Oh, yes. Yep. I grew up in Merritt Island, Florida, so it's like home for me.
And what was the city?
Merritt Island.
Merritt Island?
Right there where Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral is.
Yeah, I gotcha. What do you think about hurricanes living down there? Because I'm thinking about moving, but I'm scared of hurricanes.
All right, so where are you from?
Michigan. We have no natural disasters other than people die from the cold all the time.
If you can sustain any kind of high winds, I mean, and you like the heat, then do it.
Yeah. All right, I like it.
I don't know. I grew up around them. I'm not scared of them, but if you talk to other people, they're afraid of weather and they'll hunker down or they'll leave. But I remember when I was in high school, we would be out in football practicing in it. So it is what it is.
I gotcha. Very good. And you probably have a whole bunch of different cameras now. Are there any specific cameras in your arsenal that is your go-to?
So with technology moving right now to mirrorless, I still use my old-fashioned DSLR. That's the camera that has, when you take the lens off, you see the mirror in it. Only because when you're doing high-speed sports of any sort, from basketball games, football to motorsports, I just feel more confident that I'm not going to miss a shot than I will with some of this newer stuff that's the mirrorless. I've tried mirrorless a couple times. I've missed some vital shots, and I was like, yep, no more. I'll just use the mirrorless for video.
By miss, do you mean they were blurry, or you just didn't get the actual shot off quick enough?
Both.
Both of them? Okay.
Yep.
So what are the advantages of a mirrorless versus a mirrored camera?
So a mirrorless camera, from my experience so far, they're lighter weight. There's a little bit more compact. They cost about the same. Their image quality is better. I like it for doing portraits and weddings. It also, the sensor in it for video is really well put together too.
Okay. It's amazing to me how much everything progresses nowadays. I think my camera right now, I have an iPhone X, iPhone 10.
Oh, yep.
That camera is better than the last actual digital camera that I bought. That was just a camera.
Isn't that crazy? And then,
by several times.
Right? And then the new phones coming out now that are even better than what you have now. It's ridiculous.
And so most of the time when I do my video in-person podcast, I'm using my cell phone because it's the best, one of the best cameras I have.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you see a
Sure.
lot of photographers using that kind of stuff now? And how much better are the bigger cameras?
So I haven't seen very many people using the cell phones unless it's something quick for Instagram, to do a reel or to just post something out real quick. Um, I see a lot of people still sticking with their digital SLRs or their mirrorless cameras because they're tried and true, and you can you they take a beating and keep on ticking. I
Sure.
mean, if you ever see me at the track, I'm on my little scooter. I'll have a tripod with one camera and I carry the other one slung around me, and as I'm driving around, that one hanging just is beating against the side of that scooter, and it's still tried and true.
Pretty durable, it sounds like.
Yes.
But you have them in cases, or they're just the bare cameras?
When I'm at the track, they're just, or doing an event, they're just bare cameras. When I travel, I put them in cases.
I gotcha. Probably get that stuff inspected at TSA all the time.
Not anymore. I have my little thing so I can just go right through.
Oh, the pre
Yep, the
TSA.
pre-check. Yep.
Is it worth it?
Every $86 worth, yes, because when you're traveling with at least 10 grand worth of camera equipment, I'd rather pay $86 and know that I'm not going to forget something, because my case will stay closed and go through by opening up and somebody walking off with something.
I gotcha. Yeah. I've had my bags inspected, and then they just say, "Oh, you gotta put it all back yourself." I'm like, "Well, I guess. All
Yeah.
right. You opened it. Can't you put it back?"
Right.
Like, that's kind of rude, but oh
Yeah.
well, I'll do it myself. But yeah, man, I've been flying a lot more lately. Going down to Florida like 7 times this year, maybe, and
Wow.
getting more comfortable with flying. Just like it's cheaper to fly sometimes than it is to drive, and it takes way less time.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to my drive to Coda or Brainerd, but I'm gonna make the best of it.
Yeah. Um, so if you were, do you teach any photography classes or schools? Or are you a mentor to other photographers?
Yeah, so I'm an adjunct professor at our local community college here in Virginia Beach. It's called Tidewater Community College.
Okay.
This is my second semester teaching. Also, I've had a few mentorees under me, and because of their husbands having a transfer because of military, or they just felt comfortable enough to keep going, they're they've they've left the nest, I guess you could say. I don't have anybody mentoring right now, but I'm always open to somebody.
Sure. And what would you say about having photography as a viable career option? Like some people say, oh, you should, do something more stable. But if you were doing something you're passionate about and you put all your effort into it, you can probably make it a full-time gig, right?
Yes, but it's not for the lighthearted. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to take rejection, and you have to be able to take critique. If you can get past that, and you can get past um figuring out where your next meal is going to come from, because sometimes, especially like right now through the winter months, it's not a very busy time, even with weddings, because everyone's just coming out of the holidays and the new year's getting ready to start. um but it seems like from right after people start getting their tax returns all the way up till uh right after Thanksgiving seems to be the busiest time. And if you price yourself right and you're willing to do all that hard work, it's well worth it, because you make your own scheduling.
Sure. And I'm sure there's different costs for every type of gig that you would do, but do you have any sort of standard pricing for like weddings or if or motorcycle shoots or things like that?
So pre-COVID pandemic, I did have set prices. But afterwards, and everybody's starting to come back around with life and money and wanting to do things, I kind of try to base my time and my prices right now off of their budget. But I do have a set amount. I really do not try to go below $1,600 for like a wedding. As for doing the sports stuff, like the Moto America stuff, I have a few few little, deals made up with a couple of different riders, and we just work it that way. But I'm
Yeah.
always available for any of the other riders. You just let me know so we can talk it out and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Do you have like a set timer? So every rider goes around at a certain time, usually around a certain lap time, based on the conditions. So it'd be nice to have like a timer go off. Oh, he's coming around the corner this time, you know?
No, I do that. So I learned by watching Brian J. Nelson. You got 3 laps that I give you, and then I'm moving to another location. Basically, one is a mess up on my part, then I give myself an extra chance, and then if you don't come through that time, I give you one more chance because maybe you went into the pit real quick, and if I don't see you by that 3rd time, I'm moving to another spot because I don't want to waste my time all in one spot. The only track that's really difficult to do that three shot rule is Road America. It's so spread out. Even though and with them only being on the track half the time because of how big it is, it really, once you get to a spot, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. Even with a scooter, I would imagine, you know, Road America is a massive facility. I don't even know how many acres, hundreds of acres that they have.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Road America, it's one of the only tracks I actually drive my car because I can come all the way down to turn 5. I can park right there. I hit turn 5. And then from there, I can go back up and around the other side to get the carousel. And then from there, I can walk certain spots. And then also turn 6, I can go park over there and hit that up. The only spot that's really hard that I've only done one time is on the outside of Canada Corner because you have where you got to park and then you got to walk down the stairs trying to walk back up in a timely fashion to get somewhere else. It's just impossible.
Right. Yeah. So you've probably seen all the behind the scenes of every racetrack in the country then by now.
Oh yeah, it's interesting. It's a different perspective for real.
Yeah. And you rode and raced motorcycles at one point, is that right?
No, I only was a novice. I rode a street, like a cruiser bike, and then dirt bikes here and there. That's how I hurt myself one time on a dirt bike, and it was over something stupid too. We just got done, messing around on a track. I was on my way back to my truck to put it away for the day, and my where I was riding towards the back of the seat, and I hit a bump, and I hit the throttle, and it looped out from under me, and I blew
Oh
out my
no.
ACL. Yeah.
Which one? Which side?
My right.
Okay.
Yep.
And that took you out for quite a while?
Yep. And then I tried to ride again, and with the ACL brace, it's really hard to hold the tank. So I was just like, well, I'll just putter around on it, or I'll just, get a 4-wheeler.
I gotcha. Yeah, you know, a lot of injuries take people out, and it's unfortunate. I hope that one day we can just have better armor all around.
Right. But I mean, it is amazing though when you sit there and you watch you guys race and the speeds that you guys are going at, and then you guys high side or your low side, and then you get up and you walk away, and you're thinking in your head, that shouldn't have been possible.
Right, like 50 years ago, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Right, you just like skid across concrete at like 70 miles an hour and banged your head, and you're up walking around.
Yeah, it's a little different than watching soccer.
Right.
Right, you see them just barely even get kicked or get missed and just bluff it and make this wild show of injury and flailing about to get a penalty. And then you see a racer go flying, like you said, 70, 80 miles an hour, whatever the speed is, and get up and walk away like nothing happened.
Yeah, right.
And run to the bike to see if they can get back on it.
Yeah, that is a true statement. Yeah.
You've probably seen some nasty accidents and crashes and wild, yard sales on film.
The most bizarre one was 2 years ago at Indy. So I was sitting there and I was watching them come in. And I watched when Bobier went down the first time, or somebody went down the first time, and then they came back around, and then Bobier went down and then took out Schultz. And then at the same time, I saw Flinders go down. And then from there, Bobier got back up, and we went all the way to the backside of the track. And then I watched when Bobier went down again, but that time it was really weird because you could hear the bikes coming, and then all of a sudden it went really silent. And then you hear the bike hit the ground, and you hear the squealing, and then the bike hit the wall, and then everything came back to, and you could hear everything going on. It's just a weird mess. That's one wreck I saw, like crazy one. The other one I saw when Lampkin went down at Barber, but I wasn't able to photograph it, and I didn't see the full details. But that was kind of scary because when you're out there as a photographer and or media in general, you make friendships with all these riders. So even though we might talk every day, or we might not go hang out every day, you still have some kind of a respect and friendship. And to see somebody that just like laying there, you're like, oh my God, man, I want to go help. I think the weirdest one was Ubre at Atlanta last year, where all of a sudden the front tire seemed like it just blew out, and you went ass over kettle, and it was just a weird thing going into turn 7. I've never seen anything like that.
Was it maybe like a tire blowout or a puncture, and then he went to go brake real hard, and it just collapsed?
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And it was weird because like there was nothing around, so it's just one of those things. And it was right before this little dip that Flinders said on the track walk, make sure you avoid this little dip when you come through, because we were walking with some of the other riders, and or he said, or you'll regret it later. And then it was during I think it was during one of the qualifyings when it happened. And yeah, he like right before that dip, he hit it and just ass overhead, and that was it.
Yeah, and I was at the event with when Nolan crashed, and it sounded like his suit ripped open, maybe.
I don't know, man. He had a rough part of the year last year after Road America.
Yeah, but he did get a podium. He got his first Super Sport podium. I think it was at Road Atlanta.
Yep, he placed third. That was great.
And sounds like he's doing really well now. He's moving it up and taking names.
Yep, that's right. I tell you, this year's Super Sport is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole new class, a whole new set of rules. That's gonna be. I kind of wish they have 2 600 classes. I'd love to see them keep the stock 600 and have a Super Sport built. You can do whatever, like they're putting Ducatis, the V2 in there. Yeah. And Heron's going to be flying. I saw him doing 51s steady at the ARMA weekend a couple of weeks ago in January. And that's pretty darn good times. I mean, maybe not the fastest lap in some of the past years, but I was watching a race from like 10 years ago, and they were doing 51s the whole race. So I'm like, that's right on point.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting with like you said, Heron, and then also that they opened it up for Triumph to be in the class now too. I don't know if anybody's coming with a Triumph, but I think those 2 bikes are going to be right out in front with the Kawi's and the Suzuki, and Yamaha.
Is that Triumph going to be the 765 Moto 2 bike or the 675 Daytona RR?
I don't know. They haven't said, so I don't know. And I don't have the time to go digging through all the new stuff to find out. Yeah. I guess we'll find out though in Daytona, because I'm sure somebody's going to show up with one.
Yeah. Do you think Daytona, it's kind of like a one-off. It's not really a points paying race for championship points. Do you think it should be involved in the championship, or do you think it should be its own separate deal?
I don't know. Because this will be my first time going, so I'm going with an open mind to see how it all plays out. I did see somebody post like a tentative schedule, so they're gonna have a lot. Motor America has got a lot of stuff going on. They're gonna have the baggers there racing. They're gonna have, I think, the infield and the twins all there too racing.
And there's going to be
Saturday.
some sprint races as well, not just the
Yeah.
200.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's probably going to be like a trial thing that they're going to do to see what kind of fan base they can gather and then expand from there. But I'm kind of looking forward to the main event because you get to see, all the Moto America guys just wipe the floor with everybody else.
Yeah, a lot of club guys come out, and that's great. They pay $175,000 out to the first 40 positions, which is
Wow.
freaking awesome. I wish every race was like that. Otherwise, I'd probably be out there.
Right.
But I will be out there. Actually, I'm working that event as a track marshal, and I'm actually taking on a new position this year as working, what do you call it, the air fence deployment and extraction. So putting them out and taking them down at the end of the event, Thursday to Sunday. So I'm excited to help out and be there. And, that's seeing a whole new side of the racetrack and what's involved with setting everything up.
Oh, for sure. And then you'll eventually see me out there then too, since you're going to be almost at every round.
Yeah, I'll be at 6 of them this year. I can't go to a few of them because I'm choosing to. I'm going to be a coach this year, a rider coach.
Okay.
For beginner and street riders, doing those basic rider courses for Motorcycle Safety Foundation, MSF. So I'm excited to do that. They're looking for instructors. If anybody is hearing this and wants to make some extra cash on the weekends or sometimes during the week, they pay really well, and they're in desperate need of coaches because pandemic times, everybody's searching for employees.
Yep.
And you can choose whatever events you want to do. I guess once you do the training, you can do at minimum 4 events a year, so 4 weekends. And it's around motorcycles. It's a good thing to add to your resume. And hey, whenever you're teaching the fundamentals, you just instill them better in yourself too, I think.
Exactly. That's why I kind of like teaching this intro to photography class, because I have to go back and teach the fundamentals, and that just reinstills everything.
So what are some of the fundamentals of photography that you would teach some people?
How to use the camera outside of automatic mode. Once you really learn how the functions of the camera work and how to read light, there's endless possibilities of what you can create. But if you don't want to move past automatic mode and let your camera do all your thinking for you, then you're always just going to hit a wall. You're not going to be able to move forward from there.
And I'm sure there's a big portion of it now comes into graphic design, or how you can edit your photos and how you can adjust certain like color grading for video and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge thing.
That's a whole nother thing. I'm so now I'm starting to get more and more into video. I've been teaching myself the color grading. Yeah, it's a whole beast in itself.
And explain what that is to people.
So basically, you get your video. So your camera, if you film it normal, your camera does all the thinking for you, and it will apply settings as to what the best exposure would look like, the best color would look like, and everything else. So, but if you're going to video, you have what's called log, and it's like a totally raw like video, and you can go in and you can adjust your exposure, your contrast, your white balance, your darks. You can change colors. You can make them more vibrant by adding saturation, or you can dull it down by taking away saturation. And that's the same thing with photography. You can do 2 different styles. You can photograph in JPEG, which the camera will take everything that you photograph and compress it to think of, this is what it wants you to have. Or you can do it in RAW, which it doesn't compress any of the information, and then you can adjust all your colors and exposure and all the other good stuff I listed before. You just have more editing power when you do it in a raw sense than if you let the cameras think for you.
Sounds like an endless rabbit hole of settings you can change.
Yes. Yep.
Do you ever get like stuck? Like, oh, it's not good enough. It can always be better, and just like working on it too much and not publishing it, or how do you find the happy medium between like it's good enough and like I can put it down now?
So what I normally do is like for especially like with a wedding is I'll come home and I won't even look at anything. I'll just back up my files and then I give it a day or two and then I'll go and look through and then I'll cull it down, get rid of all the garbage. And then from there, I'll start marking certain images that I think are really good. And then I'll give it a couple days and then I'll go in, I'll start with a fresh mind, start editing them. And if you said, like you said, if it gets to a point where I'm overthinking it or whatnot, then I'll put it away, wait a couple days, maybe a week, and then go back and look at it and then make my decision on does it need more or not. Because I feel that if I am looking at this over and over again, I could have taken something that I did and it was perfect and I overthought it and made it look like crap. So once I get to a point where I start second guessing myself, I stop for the day and then come back with a fresh set of eyes later.
Yeah, I've heard that go sleep on it is really a powerful thing because give it a couple of days rest, let your mind sink it in, come back to that paper, come back to that art or the photograph, and see it with a new fresh set of eyes.
Yep.
Get that already ingrained in your brain from days ago is really helpful.
Yeah, sometimes I call a lifeline in too, and I'll send it to a friend and be like, "Hey, what do you think of this? What needs to be changed?" And if I don't trust that person's opinion, I always go to my wife and I'll ask her, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Sometimes I don't like what she says, but she does make valid points, and I I
Yeah,
adjust accordingly.
yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Yep, I can take the best critiques and criticisms from all kinds of people. I mean, even if like taking criticism and critiques from Brian J. Nelson, I mean, I could take it no problems, but for some reason it's like a kick to the nuts when my wife critiques me.
Yeah. Like, how come you don't like this? How could you not?
Yeah, right.
Like, I made this with my own two hands.
Right, this is amazing work, what are you talking about?
Right. So, what's your thoughts on some of those Picassos or some of those crazy artworks selling for hundreds of millions of dollars? How does that make sense? Does it seem that much more valuable than any other work?
Ah, man, I don't know. I mean, I wish my stuff would sell for a couple 100,000. That'd be great.
You just gotta
Um,
mark it up, right?
right, yeah, I guess end of the day, art is always subjective. So if someone's willing to put that kind of money forward, then that's what makes it that valuable. Um, I mean, there's some things that are out there that just they're priceless. Like when I was in the Navy and going to Rome and going to the Louvre, and I mean, just seeing that, I mean, it's just priceless work, and I'm grateful I had those opportunities to go do that. Because if you ever get a chance to see some of that work, it's amazing.
Yeah. So you studied some of the history and the past artists of the times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the curriculum here for any of the associate art uh, degrees through the community college. They really want you to take art history classes, and you know that way you get an appreciation for what you're working on and where it's just like music. Kids these days are all about this new hip hop stuff, but they forget about Dre.
Yeah. About all the past ones, all the greats.
Yeah, right. I mean, I loved watching the Super Bowl halftime show. I felt, finally they're representing my generation. You
Yeah,
know,
I didn't realize it was the first time ever they had, major hip hop artists play at the Super Bowl. I thought that had been a thing in the past, but maybe they were more poppy.
yeah, they were more poppy. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, they weren't considered, hip hop or anything like that. It was rap. I mean, it was rap music.
Yeah.
So like I said, it was great seeing that. But going back to knowing about the past, with my son, he loves all kinds of music, and that's because we listen to all kinds of music in the house. We just don't settle for one thing, because music, just like art, is built upon building blocks of other people's ideas to make it better.
Yeah. And there's a constant evolution of music nowadays. Some people say, oh, all modern music is crap, or I only listen to the oldies. But like, that's okay too. I'm not hating on anybody's taste of music. Everybody has a different taste. But
Yeah.
I just like listening to not just or only, but I like listening to new music, because you see how things evolve or how new bands have different sounds. There's certain artists you're like, oh, I wish they would put out 10 CDs that were just like their first one, but that's not
Right.
how they are. They just change sometimes completely. And you can't say that they're a bad band or you hate their music now. It's just they're trying something different.
Exactly. Well, that's what, I understand kind of what MGK did with Eminem. Yeah, he kind of dissed him, and yeah, Eminem was kind of in a weird spot in life with his music, and it was kind of boring. So it really made him come back to his roots. And I mean, when that new album came out from Eminem, his sales and fan base was like going crazy over that, because that was what made him. You know what I'm saying? Not this other stuff that he was doing.
He was like a rap battle artist, he was a diss track artist.
Exactly. And for some reason, he started going on a different path, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?"
He's got
So,
some a major hits though. Like every single, just about every album he puts out seems like it's a smash hit, and he's collaborating with everybody he wants to. What a
oh, for
position
real?
to be in.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy. He was founded by, just like the movie, in the underground.
Yeah.
So,
You can make it. You can do anything. You just got to be a little bit obsessed. I think you can't just be half-assed. Like, I kind of want to do this. Let's see if it happens. It's not going to really make it most of the time.
yeah, you gotta be willing to accept failure, and then get up and try again. And that's the same with being in business. You know, you I failed a lot in the last 6 years. However, I've learned from those mistakes, and I've built and become better. Um, so even though right now my business is kind of slow, still coming out of COVID and stuff like that, I still find it to be successful, because during that time of COVID, I had my own like little renaissance, and I, reinvented with what I was doing and what I liked. So now I'm doing things that help pay the bills, such as weddings and events, but I've limited and brought my price up to a point to where I can limit how many of those I do to fund my fun things that I like to do.
Yeah, it's like you sort of, if you don't love doing this one particular thing, you can price yourself a little bit out of some of the competition, so that you only do a few less and you get paid a little bit more for those.
Exactly.
And it can kind of work out that way.
Exactly. And then going back to art and music in general, I really really was hoping after this whole pandemic thing that we would have like some kind of a renaissance, because after the Black Plague they had a renaissance, and that's when all this amazing art happened, and you had all the large overweight women laying around naked that they painted because they were fat, dumb, and happy at that time.
They had the time
But
to have leisure time and explore different areas of their life.
yeah, and I was really hoping that some really good stuff was going to come out, because there was nothing but time and opportunity to really go back to your roots and really you know um reinvent yourself. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like much of that happened in the realm of pop culture,
Well, you know what?
unfortunately.
This podcast is a pandemic baby. Not
Hell yeah.
not not because there was a pandemic. I had wanted to start one for years. I just happened to do the first one in February um, of 2021, I think it was, or no, 2020, February of 2020. Yep. And then pandemic hit, and I didn't do another one until like another couple of weeks, and I was doing it very slowly. And so I didn't
Yep.
actually publish any of them until like May, because I wanted to have a whole bunch of them built up before I started. Because I knew it'd be kind of hard to get guests at first. And if I didn't have one out there, how are you going to come on a show that
Right.
doesn't exist? Right. So, and I was super nervous. I wanted to have a bunch of them done so that I couldn't psych myself out of doing it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I already have 3 of them. I can't not do this now, right? So I have to do it. And because I was really nervous about starting it, you know, talking openly with no script and not having much public speaking experience was nerve-wracking. So
Yeah, you're doing all right. Don't you worry about that.
yeah, I'm fine now. Like I actually want to do like the next step. What would be the next step? I don't know. Commentary or being like a analyst or a reporter like on TV would be awesome. I think, you know, a lot of times I'm watching a race and I say something and then they say the exact same thing. I'm like, well, I could
Right.
do that, you know?
You should be, but you should bring more humor to it, like Nick Carey's going to do with his.
What does Nick Harry do?
He's a super fan. I met him in Pittsburgh. He is going to do a podcast. Like when he's at the track, he's going to go up to each rider and be like, "Hey, let's sit down, you know, let's do this, and you know, hey, what's your mom cooking for dinner? Let's have some dinner," and just make fun with it. You know what I'm saying? But still engage and, you know, ask those hard questions, you know, that sometimes you know, reporters don't want to do.
Yeah, a lot of people ask the surface questions, the I don't know, the what was your favorite track moments? You know, I mean, those are okay too, but those seem like the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. See, and that's easy stuff. Like when I started doing this, just in general, like photography stuff, and I started you know, doing certain events, you know, I got hired by a company to hang out with LeGarrette Blunt one day for a whole weekend to photograph him doing a football camp for kids and just hanging out with him. And we never even talked about football. We talked about, you know, life things, you know, kids and, you know, movies. I told him about different restaurants here in the area to go to with him and his family. Here in Virginia, they always have what's called a patriotic festival, and I got hired to, you know, photograph that. And they usually have a lot of country stars come out, and I didn't know any of them. So I sat there and I talked with Luke Combs and Kane Brown and, you know, Old Dominion, and we all had conversation. I didn't even know who they were, and we talked about fishing and all kinds of craziness. And when I went out to go photograph them, I was like, oh, so that's who that is.
That's cool. You just made a connection afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I talk to people, you know, I try not to, famous or not, I try not to talk about that low lying fruit. I want to know about the person themselves, you know, what motivates them to do what they do. So how I fell into this whole Moto America thing was, you know, they started shutting everything down in March 2020. And here I am having to refund back all this money, watching my business just tank. And I had a friend of mine, what was it, April time frame? He posted out on Facebook, hey, who would like to go to Wisconsin and watch a motorcycle race? And I said, I wrote back, I said, I would. I just want media credentials because I want to photograph it. He goes, all right, I'll get you credentials. Don't you worry about that. So he got me the media credentials, and that's when I met Max Flinders and his family for the first time. It was the second round of Road America, and that's when I met the Blackalls. And then everything from there just kind of tumbled and grew from there. And it's been an awesome experience. And that's where I say, you know, that's where my little mini renaissance was, because it really opened up other opportunities and pushed me to do other things above what I was already doing.
Yeah, and for a long time, you know, a lot of events shut down and they're still sort of kind of opening up. I just went to a concert a couple of weeks ago with my brother for the first time in like 2 years, and like
Oh, wow.
that was cool. And you know, that was the first time I've ever had to show my vaccine stamp card. It's strange. It's like this hole in the wall bar is requiring this, but I'm flying and I don't need this.
Oh
Seems
yeah.
kind of backwards.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because from second round of Road America in 2020 until last November, I've been around so many people, thousands and thousands of people, and I had finally had gotten COVID over Halloween weekend. I'll tell you what, it kicked my butt.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I'm here, and let's do the dang thing, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I think everything is crazy to be so shut down, and I know there's people. Some people apparently are dying from it, but I don't know a single person.
I'll tell you what, man. There was a couple nights it was pretty rough. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I remember getting up in the middle of the night one night, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I was coming out of the bathroom, and I had passed out, and I fell. Thank God I didn't hit my head on my bed. And I had a pile of clothes right there, so I just passed out, man. I was gone out for probably good 30-40 seconds or so, and I came to, and I was like, what in the world just happened?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a scary thing.
Yeah, sure is.
I highly recommend, not a sponsor of mine. I hope it is one day maybe, but those elderberry sambuca stuff, and that doesn't have to be a brand, but I just take that stuff all the time. And anytime I feel like I'm getting the sniffles, I'll take that. And I haven't been actually really sick since like college, like maybe 12 years ago. And that was like a sore throat. So I live by that stuff, and I try to eat healthy. I don't drink pop. But yeah, man, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I agree too. I hardly ever get sick. Usually I get, the occasional middle of the year, like seasonal sinus infection. But I do. I take care of myself, and I never get sick. So I was like amazed when this hit me. I was like, well, maybe it's just the flu.
Yeah.
Then like the next day, I'm like, I don't smell this shampoo. I don't taste this. I was like, damn it.
Oh man, so those are the telltale signs, huh? The smell and the taste.
Yep. And I was like, man, this sucks. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, that's good because my parents both have some health issues, I guess, and they both got it, and they're both fine. So I'm like, well, I should be completely good then.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So
Yeah, my brother, he got it. He's an interesting character though. He runs ultra marathons, so he got it and was like really over it in like 2 days, 3 days tops, because his immune system is like so on point. But then like my parents, they're in their 60s, they got it and they were down for about 2 weeks, just like I was. So
man,
yeah, my wife, she got it. She was only down for like a week. So
I gotcha.
it's weird how it affects everybody differently. It's not like, a set like, oh, it's the flu. This is exactly how long it's going to be. No,
Right.
everybody's different.
I gotcha. So sounds like things are picking back up for you.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of Moto America rounds. Do you have any other series on the schedule this year? Any other organizations you're working for?
I'm trying to get in and do some more of the car races. I did one this past October at VIR, the Michelin GT Challenge.
Is that at IMSA?
Yeah, they're really hard to get in with though. Like I put in my request for media credentials and it got denied.
Based on what?
Because I they said that they had too many people already, but I was like, that's bullshit. And I know the track, so I was like, you know what, I know all the spots to go to anyways, and I'll be so close to the track anyways. It doesn't matter if I'm on the other side of the fence or not. It's nice having the credentials, because then you don't get fans around you that block your shot. And with the one lens I have, it's long enough that, I mean, it didn't much matter. I'd love to do a Daytona, like a NASCAR race at Daytona though, but I was looking up to get credentials for that. Whew, that's next to impossible, because they have so many different layers of credentialing that they give. And you really have to be backed by an accredited media outlet. You just can't be a freelancer, which from the looks of it, Moto America is going that way too. Because people have taken advantage of it. And then, like, for example, I was at Pittsburgh and this dude was walking around with a GoPro as his camera with a media vest on. And I was like, he walked right in front of me. I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? You just blocked my shot. And he's like, oh, I'm media. I'm like, yeah, me too. And I'm doing a job for somebody and you just got my way.
Yeah.
And I go, who are you working for? He goes, oh, I'm just out here. I got credentialing. I was like, oh, okay.
So for someone who doesn't know, there's like a set of rules you have to abide by. You have to like have a set of standards with what you do and everything.
You just have to be considerate to all your other media people that are there. Try to be mindful of where you are in conjunction to where they are with their photographs and video work. It's like the golden rule, man. Treat others like you want to be treated. So far, everybody that I've met through the Moto America Media Press group and media stuff, they're all a bunch of great people, man. We all are like-minded and we all are hardworking, and we just want to help promote the sport, get out more, because it does have a lot of potential to be really, really big. Because I think people are just tired of NASCAR, to be honest, and they keep changing up the rules, and no one can be really. They can't. What's the word I'm looking for? With the the car stuff, they can't really associate themselves with that, because you can't every day go and buy a Bugatti or a Lambo and then just go to the track and race it. But with motorcycles, you can go right into your local dealership, buy an R1, do a couple little things, and you can go do a track day with no problem.
Yeah, and they're a tenth of the cost of a race car.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if Moto America keeps on the right track, and us media people promote it the way we're working on it, it does have a very good chance of being how NASCAR used to be, where race on Sunday, sell on Monday, and do great things. I think that's one reason why Moto America got rid of Yamaha, because Yamaha got rid of the R6, which is garbage anyways.
Why would they do that? They released an R7, which is like a Twins Cup bike, right?
Yeah, supposedly you can still buy the R6, but only race equipped. That's it. But when you look at the specs of the motors between the R6 and the Suzuki and the Cowie, and they're super underpowered.
Well, I mean, I was talking to a bike enthusiast recently, and you see that the bicycle technology is now outpacing that of the motorcycle technology. Like the bicycle manufacturers are producing new stuff all the time, and the motorcycles are stagnant, and they maybe put out a new platform every 8 to 10 years or longer.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about? It's just there's not enough reason to develop the machines, or the factory doesn't seem like it's necessary.
I think it's a lot of has to do with probably money and research and development. And I think they're probably at a spot right now where, with EV going on so much, do they start investing money into this EV technology, or do they hold off and, just limp it along until they're forced to?
I've seen a few manufacturers commit to producing X amount of bikes or going fully electric by certain years. I think Kawasaki has, and maybe BMW comes to mind.
Yeah.
That'll be
I think I saw that too. Yeah.
I think, some people hate on it. I'm not an anti-combustion guy, but, like Elon Musk says, why do an experiment when we know it's going to run out eventually? We're going to need to have something else. I'm not saying get rid of combustion. I'm not saying get rid of combustion, but how cool would it be to have Laguna Seca not have noise restrictions and still be able to race, Yeah. And I think that would be a fantastic idea. But like Laguna Seca is is in trouble right now because of the noise restrictions. They're losing money. And I think it got sold recently to a different group. And I think it's lost its FIM homologation they need to maybe make it safer somehow or move some walls. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So,
Well, yeah, talking about noise stuff. I mean, I was talking with Max. It was sometime late last year he was about riding down in Florida during the off season, and he said the tracks that he can go to, I think Jennings was one of them. His bike's so loud that he can't.
yeah, and sometimes they have those silencers that's like you pack in your muffler, but sometimes it's not enough.
He said that his bike, when it's wide open, it's around 122 decibels or something like that. Yeah.
What kind of bike does he have? What's his setup, like a manufacturer and exhaust?
I don't know. All I know is it's a 2020 R1, and for some reason his sounds more throatier and meaner than everybody else's for some reason.
Maybe I like it though. Work.
I don't know. I tell you though, if you ever get a chance to actually watch him, he's an amazing rider. He's super and he's super humble. But if you ever watch him, he rides like he stole the damn thing. He's a late breaker, early accelerator. I have a video of him that I took at Atlanta as he's coming out of 7, and he's on one wheel and that whole back end is shaking all over the place. I'm like, dude, you have to have some cojoneses to make that happen, because I wouldn't be doing that.
And who is the rider?
Max Flinders.
Max Flinders. Yeah, I podcasted with him early on. He's the yellow rider. He told me it's because his sponsor paints helicopters, and he has extra paint. So he's like, hey, come on over. I'll paint your bikes too.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's so easy to spot him.
Yeah,
I have
perfect.
No problem spotting him.
Anytime you're looking for photos through those apps you probably have for all your photos, when you sell them for track days and racing. I'm looking through these photos, and I usually wear like black and white or something. I usually don't have a lot of colors on me, so like everybody's black and white. I can't see.
Yeah.
You have to look so much harder if you're just yellow or neon colors. Like, oh, there I am. You really have to look. You just gotta go blurry and scan down.
Yeah. Well, that's like Attack Yamaha. Their bikes are all the same, but you have to really pay attention to the numbers, or you get them mixed up. Same with M4. Their bikes are all the same color and same get up, so you really got to pay attention to the number so you don't mess that up.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell by the rider's body position or riding style.
Yeah, so by the end of the year, seeing everybody ride so much, I really started being able to do that. But at the beginning of the year, it was really hard for me to figure out who was who sometimes, because the bike looked the same, and some of the coloring for the numbers were different, same, except for Bobby. Bobby has that orange color, but everybody else, had their uniform coloring. But yeah, you're right. Once you really start watching them, no matter what bike they're on, they all have the same riding position.
And it's cool. A lot of the drivers or riders are switching to having accents in their color scheme, so that you can pick them out if it's like an orange or a green, color from rider 1 to rider 2.
Yeah.
And those are pretty helpful. So what was on your mind today? Is there anything on your list that we didn't get to that you wanted to talk about? I don't have your list in front of me, unfortunately.
No, I just wanted to shoot the shit, man.
Yeah.
I just like talking.
For sure. I was just looking to connect and help promote some businesses, and in that way I can create some original content myself. For a long time I was just sharing other people's stuff, and it's like, well, that's nice to share someone's thing, but it's just you're not creating anything of your own. So I'm like, well, I got to do something of my own, some original.
Yeah.
And so one of my avenues of making money. I'm doing like 6 different things, but I'm trying to monetize the podcast now, like directly with ads. So obviously the podcast is an advertisement for me and my business, and that I sell products online. That's the main way I want to make money off of it, but also that every view is a potential ad revenue of like me either reading 30-second ads for a company or however long, or anytime you click on it on YouTube, you know, you watch an ad before you even see it, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very small amount now, but I'm starting to make money already, which is exciting.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's very
I've seen that little baby grow into a toddler, right?
Yeah, it's like it starts it'd be like 50 cents a year, it seems like right now, but no, it's you have to have like millions of views to get like any substantial amount of money, but it's like you get some sort of satisfaction for seeing a few pennies in the jar.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this whole monetizing thing and getting people to follow you, and getting people engaged in your social media is so difficult, because as soon as you figure it out and you figure out how to be trendy just like everybody else, everything changes again. You're like, damn it, man, I don't have time for this crap.
Yeah, it's like I haven't even tried the new platform TikTok. I'm like, there's too many of them, man. I can't do another one right now. It's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to do less.
Exactly.
Because this is, I mean, it might be an hour or two, but there's very little editing involved. I don't really splice things or take it out or make it, snappy. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I get more views that way. But I just like to have the raw footage. This is what you get. This is me,
No, the raw footage works. Maybe all you need to do is at the beginning have like some kind of a graphic introduction type thing. But other than that, I mean, for me, the raw and more natural it is, I think the better it would be, because then it doesn't seem so staged.
Yeah, for sure. I probably could be a little bit more staged, but I'm just learning. My first one was probably way worse than my 10th one, and I'm getting better as I go. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working with a local tattoo shop here, and they wanted to do some like stuff to put on YouTube and stuff like that, and they gave me the idea, and they were like, so here's like a script idea. We went through it, and we were right in the middle of doing the filming, and it just seemed so stiff. I was like, this isn't how you guys, this isn't the vision that you guys are wanting, that you told me. So I said, let's just sit here and shoot the shit, and you're gonna get what you want, and it's gonna look more natural and not staged, and your clients are gonna like that better. And we did, and yeah, it worked a lot better that way.
Yeah, sometimes the best acting is not really acting; it's just doing you.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want me to do me. I'm crazy. Like, yeah, a friend of mine, him and I want to do a podcast. It's where we we'll do like a Zoom style, or even if we were in the same room, and partake in testing different beers and giving our opinions about it.
That'd be cool. I mean, I think there's a niche for everybody, or a niche, however you want to say it. There's an avenue for just about everything, and people love beer. People like reviews. I think I should do way more reviews. I don't really do any reviews, but it'd be cool to get different people's perspectives, and I'm sure you get a conversation going. Like some people would not agree with you at all. Some people think you're right. Some people never tried it and just going to be keyboard warriors, but that's all part of it.
I think if you're going to do reviews, I think you should do like the as seen on TV reviews, like just grab some of that stuff. Yeah, do it goofy and be like, man, this is garbage. I don't like. Do kind of like, oh, you know what? Do like the D-list on Donut Media. Those guys are so funny.
I should add some more humor to it for sure. Make it more snappy, more energetic. Anyway.
Yeah. What you should do is watch James Pumphrey and all them, and get some ideas. That dude's off the hook, man.
I have to check it out, but you don't want to plagiarize. You don't want to steal people's jokes, but
no, you don't want. I'm just saying, you don't want to steal his ideas, but just watch him to get ideas. Yeah. He is hilarious.
You probably riff off of that and create something of your own.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I had a question for you off the wall. So what would happen if you shaved your beard?
Oh man, my wife wouldn't like it. My mom would love it.
You have to change you wouldn't be epic beard photography anymore.
Nope. It'd be baby face photography.
So how long you been growing the beard?
So I got out of the Navy January 2012, and I haven't shaved since.
Okay, so it's been a minute. It's been a decade now.
Yep. I've
And
trimmed. I keep it trimmed because I don't want it to get too out of control. But yeah, this is about the length that I want. I don't want it any longer or any shorter.
okay, would you ever like braid it, or like some people like tie it in knots or put it up in a bun or what? I don't know, all kinds of different things.
Nah, the only crazy thing I've done is I put the little itty bitty like Christmas ornaments in it and did it green and put some, lights in there. But that's it.
Do you do any like the beard oils or the conditioner and anything like that, or just keep it all natural?
Yeah, actually I do. There's a company here out of Virginia Beach, the Burley. I can't even remember. Here, let me look it up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, sure, no problem. But yeah, some people swear by different oils or mixtures of things. I've never used any of those though.
Yeah, so I use the Burley Boy Beard Company. It's all organic. And the stuff smells amazing. And each other product is named after a famous person with that had a beard. So I had the Jerry Garcia, and I had Darwin. Darwin is more like a cedar smell, and the Jerry Garcia was more like a lemongrass smell. Their product is amazing. They make it in just small batches. I use like a more like a balm, not like the oil, and I can also use it on my skin. So like after I get, so it's an all around great product. So
Helps keep your
yep.
skin moisturized probably.
So
And is it true that beards are actually good for your skin? They help keep.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't know. My wife likes it. She says it's nice and soft.
And a lot of people have trouble growing facial hair or don't in certain parts. Do you think it's true that if you were to shave every day, it actually grows back thicker? I think that's a myth.
I think it's a myth too. I think it really has to do with your hereditary traits. But if you really want to try to grow a beard, you got to get through the itchy phase, and you got to get past the patchy phase, because once you get past the certain phases, like the patchy phase, once everything grows long enough, you can cover up, kind of like when people are going bald on top and they have that comb over.
Yeah,
almost the same effect. But you got to embrace it, man. You got to own it.
Yeah, it's just this is how I look. This is how it grows. This is my face.
Yep, that's right.
Don't you think it's interesting? I just talking to another person. Megan was on here, and she likes to have different hair colors and all kinds of crazy styles. Don't you think it's interesting how society views different hairstyles, or in how it affects employment? Like if you were looking for a day job somewhere like an office, or maybe even a server at a fancy restaurant, they're not allowed to have any facial hair. Don't you think that's kind of crazy?
That is nuts. But I do understand, especially at like a restaurant, because I mean, there's days I can go like this, and it just comes out. So for hygienic reasons, I could see why. But there's still so many views that are negative towards like you said, hair color, facial hair, tattoos,
just self-expression of your own personal body.
Yeah, that's why my wife
does. Earrings or gauges,
Yeah, that's why my wife does the job that she does. She works with horses, so she can do whatever color she wants with her hair.
Yeah.
So me as a wedding photographer, that's why sometimes I feel like I don't fit in with the norm here in Virginia Beach, because they're all clean cut photographers and they're all fancy. And here I am, I'm a veteran with a beard and tattoos, and I'm here to have fun and take pictures,
Sure. And so you mentioned you're a veteran of the Navy. Tell me about your experience. Sounds like you were traveling a lot.
Yeah, so the Navy is interesting. It's a love-hate relationship. I love my experiences that I had, but I hated missing a lot of things back home. My first deployment was right after September 11th. I was on the Roosevelt. We did 159 days out at sea with no ports. our first port was Bahrain, and then we pulled into Marseille, France, and then came home.
Okay.
From there, I've been to Italy. I've been to Spain, Bahrain. Again, I've been to Dubai probably like 12 times. Been to Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan. So went across the equator, got my shell back in. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Quite a
Got to
different
see a
amount
lot
of
of interesting
cultures.
culture.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's for a podcast for later that will never air ever again.
You probably had some crazy experiences and different laws in different places.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
crazy different practices where in certain countries, if you were to commit a crime, they punish right then and there with cutting off a hand or something.
Oh yeah. The most interesting thing though that baffled me was when we were in France and we went into McDonald's and they had a wine dispensing machine, kind of like a soda machine.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Alcoholic McDonald's. Do they have a play
Yes.
place too in there?
Do what?
Do they have an adult play place?
No.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to see these different places. I haven't been out of the country too much other than Canada, but I've been traveling the U.S. a lot lately, and I think I went to about 7 or 8 states last year. So even
That's
during a
good.
pandemic, and it's cool to see everybody at the track. But it's an outdoor event. So I guess maybe that's why it's more able to happen nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, my next goal of traveling, and I'm just waiting for all my kids to grow up, and the wife and I have talked about we're going to travel the United States. There's a lot here to go see still. I've made it to most of all the states, either through flying or driving to, but I still have plenty more to go see. Like I haven't been to Oregon yet, haven't been to Idaho yet, Montana or Wyoming.
Do you do like nature photography or scenery of that sort?
I have done some. I just not for me.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
can't
a
I
little
can't
bit
sit in
slower.
one. Huh? What's that?
A little bit slower, or if you're like waiting to do an animal photography, you're waiting for like hours and
Yeah.
hours.
I've tried to do the whole animal thing. Like I've sat in a tree blind to try to, do it. I move around too much. I make too much noise.
Yeah.
So
Or
so for all you guys out there that are hunters, don't bring me with you. You'll never get anything that day.
I think it's hilarious. There's a bunch of hunter friends of mine to be like going on a trip and didn't see a single deer to shoot. And I'm going out mountain biking and I almost hit a deer on my mountain bike with my headphones, with my headlights, 2,000 lumens, and a whistle. And they're just stopped in front of me. I'm like, well, yeah, that's really hard to kill one of these things.
Right?
It's just the wrong place. You're not supposed to shoot them there.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be right where, I mean, it's just like any animal. You train them to not be in a certain spot because you overhunt that spot. Or, you like my mother-in-law, she's trained my dogs to think that every time they go outside, they get a treat. So now I know they don't have to go out, and they're going to go and beg at the door to go out. And then I let them out. They stand there for 5 seconds and they want to come back in.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you overhunt a certain area, yeah, you're not going to get anything.
Right. It's they're not stupid. They know what's going on.
Yeah, same with fishing. If you overfish a spot, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and that's a problem, right? Overfishing. We could get into that, like all the problems of. I watched a documentary of that, and we're killing our stock of the ocean and almost beyond repair. It's nuts.
That's
To me.
crazy.
And it's like, well, I know they're coming out with stuff that's beyond meat, and they're trying to create meat out of a dish now, which might be good for things, but it's not there yet. I mean, I've never tried any of that. It seems like it's in its early stages, and I don't want to be a test subject.
Right?
Like, I don't want to have that. What is it? The fake burger or I forget what it's.
Oh yeah. The Impossible Burger.
Impossible. Well, what is it then? I don't even know.
I don't know. My dad, he changed to vegan a while back ago, and he eats it and he says it's amazing. He can't even tell a difference. I'm like, oh well, don't sign me up for that.
I feel like I'd be really unhealthy if I was vegan.
Yeah, I'd be eating a lot of candy, I think, instead.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I'm gonna be going on a date later. I'm excited about that. I've been using the dating apps and all that, and try to approach women more often. Yeah, it's like you get momentum as you go. Because for a while I was like not doing anything. I was like, why am I not doing this? But it's Valentine's Day, so it's like it sparks up new like, oh, I probably should see if I can get a girlfriend again,
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, I miss having a girlfriend, and then you get into a really, oh man, I don't miss this.
it's good to be a single too, because like I might be doing 30 or 40 events this year, so it's kind of hard to have something. It depends on what you want. If you want to see the person every day, it's not going to work. But it's got to be something mutual, that you got to be independent.
Exactly.
Got to be your own person.
Yeah, when I met my wife, we were both in a spot in our lives that we didn't want to date at all anybody, and she was my neighbor. She had moved into the apartment below me, and we were friends for 4 years before anything ever happened. And now we've been together 10 years and married going on 6. So
do you wish you would have said something earlier? You're like kicking yourself like, man, we could have like 4 more years, or was it just it happened naturally?
I just wanted it to happen naturally, because I was just coming out of a really nasty divorce and stuff like that, and I was just hating.
Yeah. Yeah, take some time to regroup and be on your own and process things.
And now I think that if anything would go to happen now, like, God forbid something happened to her or we got divorced or something like that, I don't think I want to, at my age, at 43, I don't want to go through that hassle anymore. I'm good.
Yeah. Would you maybe do the girlfriend but not the wife?
None.
Not even that?
Nope. I'll move to Vegas, figure it out from there.
Sure, just be on the bachelor lifestyle.
That's right.
Because you can do whatever you want. You don't have to report to anybody. You have to ask if you can buy certain things, right? You can just do it and blow the
If there's
winnings
dirty
on
dishes
over.
in the sink, it's my fault, nobody else's.
Yeah. I haven't had a dishwasher for since I moved out of my parents' house. I do miss having one of those.
Yeah, you need to get one of those. Those things are convenient and nice.
But my parents have one, and they say they don't even use it. I'm like, why? Why would you not use it? I don't understand.
That makes no sense.
They're like, it's only me and my dad, me and your husband, so whatever. I said that wrong. But it's only me and him. We don't need that. We only use a few dishes. I just pile them up in there and then do it once a week or whatever, every couple of days. I don't know.
That's right. I don't know. I cook so much that I have to use ours almost on a daily basis.
Are you a little bit of a chef?
Yeah. But I like to dibble and dabble a little bit here and there. My parents think I should open up a food truck. I'm like, I don't think so.
What kind of cuisine?
Anything that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Most of the time I open up the cupboard. I'm like, what can I make out of this?
Yeah, I like all kinds of random concoctions of different flavors. I'm not a huge person like, oh, this has to go with this. I'll just stick it all together and see what kind of leftovers we have and put it in one dish.
That's right. I think that comes back to what I used to do before I joined the Navy, and wanting to explore different avenues of delicious food, because I had other great feelings going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like exploring different stuff. I worked at a few different restaurants, some fast food and some 4-star dining experiences. And man, they had so many different dishes at the upper scale place. So I have never even heard of these words or these foods before. Like, what is this? What is this couscous?
Right.
But it's cool to be exposed to all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I just met a girl who said, I've never heard of Chipotle. I'm like, what?
What?
I've been there like 50 times. How have you never heard of this restaurant? Some people are pretty sheltered.
Yeah, I guess it must be one of those Michigan things.
But I just like tacos and Mexican food and different stuff like that. But it's maybe not authentic Mexican. It's just Americanized.
Everything's Americanized. Even when you go over to, the other countries, their stuff is Americanized.
Try to make it to the masses.
Yep, exactly. I mean, yeah. So in, in Dubai, you go into Applebee's and you think you're getting a steak. Sure, it's a steak, not of a cow though. It's probably camel.
Camel, a whole different animal. You're not even expecting.
Yeah, but it's still Americanized because they put steak.
Have you had some odd or exotic animals through different travels?
Nope.
You stay away from that stuff.
Yep. Like when we were in Thailand, my buddy, he wanted to try different things. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go to McDonald's.
Because there's a risk you could get maybe some disease or like a tapeworm or something, maybe.
I'm not worried about that. It's just the thought of the weirdness.
I just went to on this last weekend. We went to dinner and the guy had duck. I was like, I've never had a duck before. What's that taste like? It's like
Greasy,
like rubbery kind of maybe.
It's kind of like, even if it's the white meat, it's kind of like greasy, kind of like how a chicken thigh or dark meat is, but it's like the whole thing.
Oh, it's like a Thailand restaurant, Thai food.
Yeah, and then rabbit's pretty interesting too. It's gamey, but it's not gamey all at the same time.
Yeah. I just had some venison jerky, and that stuff's pretty darn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people have a problem with that because it's like it's not the most humane thing, maybe, or am I thinking of something else?
No, you must be thinking something else. I mean,
Well, veal. I'm thinking of veal.
Yeah, veal. Yep. Nope, that's not. So yeah, have you ever looked up how they do that?
It's something with baby cows.
Yeah. We'll just leave that right there.
It's supposed to be more unhumane than regular cows.
Yeah.
I don't know, but well, we can leave that right there. We don't have to talk about that.
Yep. We don't want to scare away all your listeners.
It's like you want to be relevant. You want to talk about relevant news like the Super Bowl, but you don't want to be too controversial and steer people away.
Exactly. Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
There's a fine line there. Like you can talk about things, but you don't want to throw people under the bus. But there's a fine line there.
Yep. Yep.
What's something? What grinds your gears? What's something that you could talk about that's maybe a gray area of sorts?
Oh man, there's so many areas. See, one thing that with veterans that a lot of people don't understand is we have a weird sense of humor. So things that shouldn't be funny, we'll find humor in.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it right there.
Well, you always, as a comedian or as trying to make jokes with your shooting shit with your buddies, you always try to push the envelope and say some ridiculous things.
Oh, I can't get into that.
That's cool.
Because I might run for office one day and I don't want, skeletons coming out.
Right. It's like you want to speak your mind, but there's like a limit, right? There's some filter there.
Yeah, I have a filter now. Now, if we would have done this, 10 years ago or so, you would have been beeping me out.
Right.
Because, yeah.
Well, I try to let everything fly. Like I've had some pretty crazy guests just run their mouth or just say whatever they wanted. Not anything bad, I'd say, but it's just interesting to just sit back and like let them talk. The directions that they go, and like, oh, okay, that's interesting. just nodding and saying yes, okay,
yeah,
okay. Just because you don't want to stop them, like this is gold. But
yeah,
so that was I didn't expect that one.
Right. Yeah. No, I try to keep it tame now, especially being a business owner. Once all that's done and over with, my old self will come back.
Sure. And tell me about your logo. You got is it a shield with a sword? Is that
Oh no, so this hat right here,
Yeah.
This is for Uncanna. They're a CBD company,
Okay.
and they are a all veteran owned type deal. And I received this hat from them when I bought some product, and it's good stuff.
And tell me what CBD does for you.
So I use it. They have a like a menthol like thing that you use for your like your joints.
Like a
And
topical on the skin.
yeah, yep. So the topical stuff I really like. It seems to work pretty good. Because I've had, 4 knee surgeries, a couple shoulder surgeries. I had a neck injury. Um, so that works really good. Now I've tried their oils. I didn't. I don't know. It seemed to work, but I'm not sure. So when it comes to that type stuff, I just use I just smoke.
Yeah,
It's just easier.
I gotcha. And that stuff really seems like it helps. It penetrates inward and gets to the joints.
Yeah.
It's kind of like probably the what's it called? Oh man, I can't think of the name of it, but I put some stuff on my knee before that's kind of like that. It's like menthol.
Like Icy Hot or Bengay.
Like
or
Icy Hot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it seems to help penetrate really well and it's very strong smelling.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if that actually helps. I don't know how the smell helps your joints.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Maybe
it's that
psychological.
science. It's that science. We got to believe in it.
Right? It's but science is always evolving. You never know. So the science of today could be different in tomorrow or in 10 years, and it's always changing.
Exactly. So
what do you think the next technology for cameras is going to be?
I don't know. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, because if you think about it, just 20 some years ago, we still had film photography going on, and we had cell phones, but they didn't have any kind of capabilities. Now our cell phones, they're more powerful than our desktops or our laptops for the most part. So who knows where it's going to go. I mean,
think
the capabilities of some of these cameras now, I mean, I wouldn't even use half the settings that they have on it because I don't find a need for it, but they have it there.
Yeah, and they're going into 3D and like dual cameras on the same device so that you can get a different perspective, so it can get kind of that 3D look.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, other than that, I mean, who knows?
I've even seen 3D imaging technology that's free to get on your cell phone. Like it's an app you can download that if you wanted to sell your house or rent out a room or something, you could get like a 3D walk around of your house. It's like that's pretty cool technology using photography and some video, I guess, to spatially put all this stuff together in 3D when your camera is just a regular camera.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's like it's wild technology, but I think it's interesting the story of like Kodak, how they had the digital camera and they had the analog camera and the film business, and then they developed the digital camera and didn't sell it. They put it on the shelf for many years, and someone else came out and sold the digital camera, and they were on the back foot now.
Yep.
And now they're out of business because of that. They said, we want to focus on our print business and didn't pursue the new technology, and someone else did.
Yep. That's what happens when you get caught sleeping, man.
So it's like you always got to be evolving and changing, but you don't want your other business to suffer.
Exactly.
But that's where you got to find that fine line. But let's wrap this up. We got about an hour and 20 some minutes already. So thanks for talking to me, man. I'll be sure to share and post this as soon as possible. But where can people find you online if they want to get some services or talk to you more?
So I have a website, epicbeardphotography.com, and I'm also on Instagram. I have 4 different accounts on Instagram. One is Epic Beard Photography. The other one is Epic Beard Photography Sports, and then a pinup, and then a travel, and then also have a Facebook page.
Okay. Very good. And do you put videos out there anywhere, like on YouTube?
I have on YouTube. It's under Epic Beard Productions on YouTube. I don't have much because right now all the content that I made last year has either gone to Max Flinders or to Tony Blackall. So if you want to check out some of my videos, you'd have to go there. I think here soon though, I think I'm going to just stick it on mine anyways. I don't know.
And do you have any aspirations of like getting into film, whether it's like creating a film or like shooting somehow? I don't know if you would like join a different company to do that, or how that even works.
So I do have some aspirations to do that. I'm waiting to find out if what I applied for it comes through as true. I applied to be a part of the production team that does the Moto America show Pressure to Rise.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just waiting to hear back on that. And if everything's a go, then that's actually what I'll be doing this season. If not, I'm still going to be doing my freelance stuff anyways. So I'll still be there.
Very good. Yeah, I've been, I talked to a videographer, Gray Pham. You probably heard
Yep.
of GP Industries guy. He's actually in the process of making his own masterclass so that people can watch him, how he does everything. And I've been following that kid for a couple of years now, and his stuff's blowing up off the charts with, he makes them super snappy, and he puts like some sort of hip hop beat or some rap music. And it's just really catchy. It catches the eye. He's got people like sliding out the rear tire, or wheelies, or hard passes, or slow-mo. The slow-mo angles are pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched a couple of those stuff. I follow him on Instagram too.
Yeah. Now, are there any artists that you follow that you think are up and comers that you're keeping your eye on?
No, not really. I like everybody's work. So
yeah.
If you got at least 500 followers or more, I don't find you as up and coming. You kind of, especially right now with the way Instagram is, you're there.
You already made it if you're over 500.
Yeah,
That
that's
seems
the way I
like
look at it.
It seems like a low threshold, though. I would have thought it'd been higher.
Nah, because with the way they've changed their algorithm now, it's really hard to really get your presence out there.
You think it's harder now than it was a couple years ago?
Yeah, so I did a reel the other day, right? And I have like 5,000 views, 110 likes. The next day I did another reel and it's got 410 views and 20 likes. So their algorithms all over the place. And I watched all these tutorials and what you should do, check that trendy stuff and try to be like them, and don't do this many hashtags, do this many hashtags. And so right now, if you have, at least in my book, if you have 500 followers and you have good content, you're there, because other than that, it's too hard to keep up with the Joneses with this shit.
Yeah, everything's changing, and now I just started trying to do reels. I think it's Instagram Reels, and YouTube has Shorts. It's like the same thing. Because those are like an advertisement. I'll do a 60-second clip of this, say, and then of the most interesting part, or an interesting part of it, and splice that and just make it into 50 or 60 seconds. But and then that's an ad for the longer clip if you want to watch the whole thing.
Yep, exactly.
So, but all right, that's about an hour and a half, so we can cut it there. And then appreciate you talking to me. I'll get this edited and posted, and I'll talk to you real soon. I'll see you in a couple weeks at Daytona. Yeah, for sure. You'll see me. I'll be on my little blue scooter. I sent you a picture. All right. I'll talk to you soon, man. All right, cool. Bye. Have a good one. Yep, you too.